welcome to the back of the ute. I managed to find Claudia's home, and here we have Tristan and Jess, and they volunteered to be in the back of the ute with me and have a bit of a discussion about anything regenerative. The link is because Tristan has trained as a chef. Of course, food's really important. His mum's Claudia, and he's wanted to come back and work the land. That's, what is it,
410 acres.
410 acres.
Yeah.
But it's his mum's, but he's gone, this is what I really want to do. And then Jess is doing the Regenerative Ag course at Southern Cross Uni, and they are, I presume you're going to be managing the land as well. But at the moment, are you working in the restaurant, Essen restaurant?
Yes.
You are?
Yeah. So I do the front of house, and then in my spare time I study and work here.
Okay, so what year are you in at uni?
Technically my first, but I've been doing it about 2 years because I started with my diploma first, and then I've started the bachelor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At the same uni?
Yes. Yeah.
Ah, okay. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah. Well, I've tried uni so many times before, and I was like, I just need to do the diploma first to be like, is this it? Is this my purpose?
Right.
And then I figured out it was. So then I've technically already done the first year's work, and now I'm doing the bachelor just to finish it off.
Okay, so Tristan, if you don't mind, I'll just start with Jess because we've started going with the flow. So what was it about regenerative farming that just caught your eye?
Well, it was actually working in restaurants and working with Tristan, where I started working at this restaurant and I had no idea about the food. The first time I saw Tristan walk down with a pig on his shoulder, I was like shocked and didn't know anything about that. Like, it was really hard to deal with, and also learning about those farmers that we got all the food from. And I realised that there was a serious issue because I was 22 years old and didn't know. And the more I got to talk to customers, the more they didn't know. And Tristan loved putting radishes as, like, not a garnish, but I suppose a garnish, and people would never eat it. And we went to the farm that's local who grew them, and we planted them one day. And then when they arrived in the restaurant, I said, I planted these radishes, and every single person ate those radishes. And I was like, isn't that so interesting that when people didn't have that connection, they didn't want to eat it?
Wow.
When I told them I planted it, they ate it and told me how much they loved the radish. So from there I realised I actually had to do something about that really desperately. So then Tristan actually found the Bachelor of Science with the Regen Ag specialisation, and within a week I applied and got in and started. So
Oh, that is a fantastic story. That's brilliant. Yeah, I know it is a big shock, and especially when you see a whole dead animal that needs to be butchered and then you see it being cut up, because for some reason we all seem to want to protect our children against death, and yet we need meat. I don't care what anybody says. We need meat to eat, and
without death there is no life, so
yeah. Totally.
it needs to be it needs to be normalized in a way, I think.
So how were you then connected? We'll go to you, Tristan, with of course how you were brought up very holistically with your mum, being so passionate about the land. When did you, so it was quite early on that you said, I want to be a chef?
Yes. I was, I guess, 14 or 15.
Okay.
And Mum told me not to because I'd become fat and an alcoholic. Definitely didn't get fat, but I do enjoy beer. So yeah, I worked all around the traps overseas in Canada, and then I came back and I started working at the barrel room down in Ballandine here, and we used all local farmers and everything within 300 kilometres of Ballandine. And then basically that was like the kickstart of where I really, I don't know what the word is, realised, I guess, that it's really the farmers that make the good food, and we just put the finishing touches on it. Without that, the farmers making the nutrient-dense, delicious carrot, it's not going to be good on the plate if it's not been farmed properly.
Yeah.
So moving on to City Winery, and we basically didn't use, all the food that we sourced was from local farms and from regenerative farmers basically, and really just realised that was not only good for the customer, good for the earth, good for us, made our job easy because everything was so beautiful anyway.
Yes.
And yeah, I guess that brings us back here where now we're sort of taking it to the next level where we can actually grow it ourselves and then cook it and do the whole cycle ourselves and keep it all here.
Yeah, well, you actually touched on something there. It's very easy to sell something when it's already almost perfect.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, and then all they need is that little bit of connection, that little storytelling that, I actually grew this.
Yes.
Yeah, to make that. So what are your plans then, like as in maybe over the next 3 to 5 years with your jobs and with your lives and the land? Because the land is life, isn't it? It's not really a job
Yes,
as such.
exactly. Yeah, so, well, basically the goal is as soon as possible we'd like to not work in the restaurant anymore and, spend our lives here. So we have our no-dig market garden, which we've really spent this season experimenting different crops and what we want to really grow. And then we've got the cattle and we've got some boar goats as well. So we're basically using the animal holistic management to feed the market garden, but also regenerate the pastures, regenerate the land, and just have it all as a flowing system to feed us and our local community.
Yeah.
So how many acres have you got here?
410.
410.
Yeah.
And of that, how much is sort of biodiversity just left for the native species?
I would say it's about half.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so we have Mount Dillon, which is behind us, which is a lot of rock and scrub and just natural bushland, and that backs onto Horan's Gorge Nature Reserve.
Right.
So it's basically there's a big nature strip that goes all the way through down into Glen Applin on the other side there. So yeah, it's really nice to have that buffer on that side.
Yeah.
And then we've got I think it's about 200 acres of sort of farmable land.
Yeah. And your market garden, will you expand that into more acreage production, or is it still going to be just that little?
I don't think we'll go to field production. It'll still be market garden. We'll expand the market garden, but it will be intensive. So we do basically zero till. So we tarp out any grasses or weeds, and then we broad fork and put deep compost straight onto the surface with no tilling whatsoever, and then wood chips in the pathways. So we haven't disturbed any microbes or anything whatsoever, and then just plant directly into the compost. So this season is obviously our first season, and we've probably spent maybe 20 minutes weeding in 6 months.
Wow.
Which is pretty incredible because we just haven't disturbed any weed seeds or anything like that. So.
And you can see them pop up, so when they're that big you just pull them and that's it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Easy.
yeah.
And your market will be to restaurants?
Potentially.
With the food?
Yep. Restaurants, farmers markets, but we're also looking at putting in a commercial kitchen in the little shed down here, where we'll value add to a lot of that stuff, do fermenting and potentially a micro bakery.
Okay, that's a discussion. What's a micro bakery consist of?
A singular oven.
Yes, one very big oven.
And you'll have cultures, and you do a sourdough sort of.
Sourdough, yeah.
Okay.
We'll do organic sourdough and source some nice flours and stuff like that. Hopefully incorporate some native grains and things like that as well.
So are you looking at having an organic certification, or are you going to go more down the regen side of like what Graham's got with the nutritious farming?
Probably a little bit in between. So we'll probably there's a group called Certified Naturally Farmed, and they basically, it's like a community certification, but they follow the organic standard.
Okay.
And basically all the farmers, so I think there's 12 farms in the Granite Belt, as part of the group, and they basically go around once a year to each of the farms, and then audit that farm and go through, and everyone has a look around and
Oh wow!
Yeah.
share
Good
knowledge.
idea.
Yeah, it's
And
really
yeah,
good.
Yeah,
it's
I
amazing.
haven't heard of them.
Mm.
Well, I wouldn't because this is the first time I've been to Stanford. So, yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's a really good like little collective idea. Okay, and so with your cattle, you're doing the time rotational grazing, or you haven't got that herd number yet?
So yes, we do. So we have 12 head over the other side. Basically, yeah, I'm moving. They're in really small paddocks, and I move them every day. So yeah, doing the cell grazing and
Oh, okay, you are just on a smaller scale.
just a smaller scale. Yeah, so like the paddocks are about 10 meters wide, and then just like stripped across.
Yeah. And you having to do any extras like mulching?
Yeah, so after they graze through, then we mulch over the top, planning to get a direct seeder so we can seed cover crops in afterwards as well.
Okay.
I'd really love to have meat chickens to follow the cattle,
Yeah.
but that's
yeah.
a long way in the future.
Yes, we need some more
There you
time.
So yeah, you go with what you've got. Start little, and then
Yes.
expand.
Yeah.
That's the best way.
Mm.
All right, and Jess, you're all cool with this plan?
Yeah.
Maybe not the micro bakery. I don't know.
No, I love the idea of a micro bakery, but it's just our lives are so full right now
Okay.
that it's every time we have a new idea, we add it on and go, oh, we don't have time for that. So we get a little bit of stress on top of that as well. But yeah, we've got heaps of plans and so much opportunity with how much area we have, what skills we have. But yeah, it's just trying to get more time, which is why Tristan said hopefully soon we won't have to be at the restaurant as much as we are now.
Yeah. Are you full time at the uni?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so how many years have you got left?
I think I've got about 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So it'll be a big 2 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you'll still do that. You won't go part time and try and work
No.
in the farm.
I have, so Southern Cross has just done this thing where they've gone from 13-week semesters to 6-week terms. And so I have the opportunity to do 2 or 1 unit per term. So there's a lot of work to do, but it's really quick,
Yes.
which is awesome because, you know, if I know that, you know, our birthdays are around the same time, I can actually take that term off, or I can just
Okay.
do 1 unit. So I might do that, which will just prolong it a little bit, but yeah, for the moment it's going pretty good. So
Yeah, no, it's good. Well, because everybody's lives are so chock-a-block or here, there, and everywhere, particularly in Australia because it's such a large country. Brilliant. Okay, well, I love what you're planning on doing. Is there anything else you want to add with the whole regen side of things? Connection and
Thanks to Mum for letting us be here,
yeah. Yeah.
giving us free rein basically to do whatever we like, and supporting us.
Yeah.
So,
Totally.
yeah, we're really lucky to be able to do it because, you know, buying property at, well, you know, it's not the easiest thing to do.
no.
So we're really lucky to be able to try and, you know, get something going and then, you know, without having to spend $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. And have that support as well because her knowledge is
Yes.
huge,
Yeah.
isn't it?
And then Graham's.
And that on
Yeah.
Oh no, great, yeah, and he'll take you under the wing if you're interested in it. Whew,
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
he'll
information
run
overload.
Yes.
the old fire hydrant of information.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. All right, well, it's lovely to meet you. Thank you so much for taking time out, because I know, like, I sort of interrupted their breakfast this morning. I'm a bit guilty because they went to the restaurant last night, and yeah, good luck and keep me posted. If you want to if you've got anything exciting, I'll come with my camera and film whatever it is. Not, you know, tomorrow, but in the not too distant future. If you've got something exciting that you want to spread the word about,
Yeah,
then
cool.
yeah, contact me.
Awesome.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you very much. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Cheers.
See ya.